Welcome back, my cool cats and kittens, as we are here for Game 3 of this series.
You just call them your kittens?
Cool cats and kittens.
Oh, okay.
The old Tiger King reference.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's what
I'll just agree.
Yeah. Good.
You can be my kitten if you want. That smile was, we'll talk about it afterwards. But what we need to talk about now, well, there's a thunderstorm coming in Berlin. And there's a storm coming on the Rift as well, because these teams are over 40 kills per game right now. And they're so back and forth, so we'll see what happens in this Game 3.
I have to give XL so much credit. After the demolition that was Game 1, they turned it entirely on its head. A shellacking for Game 2. It's a long time since we've seen this G2 roster be destroyed that much. I think MSI, probably the last time that it happened to that degree. And XL continue to go from strength to strength. After disappointing in spring and in winter, they now look like a solid team at the top of the LEC table. And even though these games have looked a little bit messier than perhaps the perfect League of Legends some people would aspire to look towards, XL are showing us that they can fight with the best that Europe has to offer.
And as the desk highlighted, G2 was on a 12-game winning streak before that game.
Yeah.
That's XL finally putting a stop to that. And G2 have gone back to blue side. Is Kai'Sa the first pick for G2, and are they going to drop the Rel Prio? I think the answer might be yes. That or a Jace Maokai ban here to change things up. So they banned the Rel instead.
So then do we go Kalista or LeBlanc ban here for XL?
Because let's not forget that Rel pick is a denial pick from Limit as well, who's been phenomenal on that Rel. So G2 were trying to deny that most of the series. Now, like you said, Kai'Sa, LeBlanc, Kalista. Is Kalista really first pick worthy? Is this something that XL want to ban away? Because if they ban it now, they'll still get Jace Maokai, but they won't get the Kai'Sa. But then Varus on 3 could work as like a substitute to that idea. So we'll see if that's the direction that they go in and they leave that Kai'Sa open, which I think can work, and bait G2 into picking it. I think G2 need to destroy this Jace Maokai. Okay, so they've gone for it.
So then do you just go Jace Kai'Sa here, pick Sejuani on 3?
Yeah, can also work. I think the Maokai is the most suppressive part of the Jace Maokai. The flex isn't really that big of a deal, and the lane phase itself is easy to play against if you just want to go for something like the Azir, you know, or Ahri and just go even, or Tristana, I think, which what G2 can do. But yeah, I think Jace Kai'Sa would be something that XL should look for. And then, like you said, Sejuani on 3 can work. But yeah.
And with how well Arbor played the Jace, I think having him on that once again would make sense. It looks like they're going to prioritize taking the Sejuani instead of the Jace, which is a little bit strange to me, considering you know the enemy is already locked in their jungle. Obviously, Maokai can be flexed. I think we saw it in the LPL earlier today, flex to support, if I remember correctly, but it's strange to not pick Jace. Immediately, though, G2 prioritizing Cog Braum, so then Jace can just get locked in on 3. He looks so confused.
I just feel like Jace Varus there or something would be great for G2, but they are sold on this Kog'Maw Braum. Now, XL, surely a Jace should come through here. I mean, Abbedagge had an amazing performance. They have bans for mid to cover it off, and they should have enough supports to drop to 4-5 against the Braum. So, I would love to see that pick come out from Abbedagge. And I'd be very surprised if it doesn't. And I think XL are probably slightly surprised, but I'm also surprised by the Sejuani pick. Maybe the only logic I have behind the Sejuani pick is if they take Jace, they could flex Maokai support and pick Sejuani away or something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Is an idea that they could, like you said, could take away. But yeah, anyway, I think XL probably very happy with the Jace Kai'Sa again. They've lost the Maokai, which stings, but Peach has played a lot of Sejuani this split, I think. So yeah, it's his most played. LeBlanc ban going to come through. Nico ban as well from XL would be pretty good. And G2, last time they thought the Jace was going top and they banned Azir here, which I think was kind of wasted. As much as you think the Jace might go top, is the Azir ban really worth it? Maybe it's for the Kog'Maw Braum cover, but I think they should target support a bit more if they want, or top side, top lane perhaps.
I'm trying to think what you want to take away here. You've already removed the Rakan. Braum good into Nautilus, otherwise perhaps you want to ban away the Nautilus.
Yeah,
Gnar, get rid of those top laners for Odo Omni. Looks like G2 are very much on the Renekton hype train today for Broken Blades, so expectations are they'll look towards that. LeBlanc already removed by XL.
In the lane phase, the Renekton is working. So does XL ban Renekton here or Nico? I think the Nico ban is a must.
I agree.
And G2 here could ban something like, let's say K'Sante as an example, or Sion perhaps, but yeah, not so much tank here against the Kog'Maw Braum. And then XL can pick the Renekton on 4, which I think is a great denial.
Interestingly though, Poppy has been left up these last couple of times, so I guess by not picking more Engage, the Poppy isn't as important as it has been for the G2 bans before. Azir instead their ban. You could go Poppy top.
So XL can go Alistar here, like they've been doing previously. They can go Renekton here to deny that. They could try and take the Poppy. The Nautilus I don't like too much into Maokai Braum Kog'Maw. I feel like the Alistar
I hate it into Maokai. No.
Yeah, it's just so, you can't really move. I think the Alistar is working. Just have to not make the level 1 too tricky. The lane is always going to be hard. But maybe they're scared of Tristana, is what I think here. I think the XL are saying we're going to pick Nautilus because G2 might go Tristana. So we'll see what direction they go in. I think Yone for Caps could also be pretty good here.
Yeah, I really like the Yone. Gives you a little bit more pressure as well in the lane. Why will G2 go with top? Could just go tank. Could go towards that Renekton once again. XL saving their last pick for the top lane does give them a little bit of flexibility. Of course, that Jace could still be flexed. We did see it in game 1 from XL. You could put Jace up into top in Odoamne's hands and then give Abbedagge something in the mid lane. But what he would usually pick, the Azir, has been banned away. G2 do go for the Renekton, so now mid lane their final option.
I think Odo can just go Gragas on 5 here or something. Doesn't sting too much. What's the pick for Caps here? Syndra? Yeah, it could work. Syndra, Maokai. Braum, it's a lot of magic. I think an AD champ would be great, like a Tristana, or Yone. But he's going to go for the Syndra.
Okay.
Has the knockback into Jace. Can definitely shut down the Kai'Sa if she dives too deep. Does help Abbedagge's itemization a little bit, but I think Caps getting on comfort is never really a bad thing.
Has played the Syndra twice this year, won both the games, so... And obviously, across the course of his career, has played it a lot of times. But we'll see where XL decide to go with final pick. Kennen. Something Odo very experienced on, but perhaps not exactly what I was expecting here.
Yeah, I think they do over-index a little bit on magic damage, but it's not the end of the world. They have Kog'Maw, Syndra, 2 immobile carries. Maokai W will stop Kennen in his tracks quite quickly, but I think the lane phase does help out a little bit. Odoamne, I think, has been struggling a little bit in lane, and this makes it so he can actually start getting the push and impacting a lot of the map.
I will say it hasn't helped that in game 2, Broken Blade got a kill at level 1. In game 1, when his team went for a dive, they failed the dive, and then he got dived in the top lane. So there hasn't been in the isolated 1v1 that Odo has been entirely losing out. Often he has been key point of focus for G2. I wonder if it will happen again in this game. I wonder if Caps will walk under a tower again in this game, because definitely helped XL's early game that G2 made a few questionable plays.
Maokai the Caps counter.
Yep.
Never really respects the W range.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a dash on Syndra.
So he can't walk up.
Exactly.
He can't feel safe to dash away.
He does have the knockback though, so maybe that will make him feel a bit safer.
Maybe it will. G2 comp very mid-game heavy. The Kog'Maw nice late game insurance. And the XL comp very poke heavy with a lot of good flank potential.
And they played it very well in game 2. It's a very similar comp for them. Obviously, Sejuani switched out for the Maokai. The Kennen as well gives you a little bit more backline threat in the team fights. But XL looking very strong today, looking for their spot in the finals and in the season finals. Let's get onto the Rift for game 3. XL have been falling foul of some G2 level 1 plays. Odoamne is going to scout out the bush, and the rest of XL can walk forward here. Maybe looking to see if Broken Blade pushes up. XL actually innovate Broken Blade in a little bit here. Odo can just walk up by himself, see if G2 collapse. But for the moment, looks like no dice in any sort of level 1 action between these two teams.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth in the crowd as well. Some XL chants coming out fighting against the G2, which you don't hear too often. G2 has such a strong fan base. And yeah, no top play, level 1 scouting paying off. Maybe looking for some kind of pick onto BB if he walked up for a ward perhaps, or if he tried to contest. But here comes the Kog'Maw Braum level 1, very strong. G2 can sneak their way in here, and Hans can place a ward down if he wants on the blue buff, or they can sit here and try to wait for the Kai'Sa. But very dangerous. They spotted that ward there, XL. Peach is pinging it, so they know the Kog'Maw has walked up and warded it. And obviously, if XL check, they'll see that Mickey has a sweeper. Hans just used his ward. No wards for bot. So Peach, if he wants to get creative with it, get fancy with it, he can look to contest. I mean, I think the Kog'Maw Braum will step up level 1 if they want to punish. I've seen level 2 ganks on Skarner work.
And it's also part of the power of Nautilus over Alistar. You don't have to invest your flash to find an initial engage at level 1 in the lane. On Alistar, you're never going to get an engage. So if Peach decides to come down here for a level 2 gank, a level 3 gank, Limit in a much better spot to find that initial bit of CC for the moment, though. Hansama and Mickey just hugging the bush as Patrick starts to clear out some of these minions. Hans and Mickey should be able to get the level 2 first. They have control of the lane. Concussive Blows, very powerful early on. And Limit and Patrick will have to respect that.
Can go for the early play there, Peach, even though they don't have any vision bot side. Not going to try any kind of plays, and XL have 2 wards to cover off the exits of the bot side jungle from Yike, so they'll know that when he walks back to Raptors, when he goes towards the top side, Peach will be able to contest him on the blue buff area. As he is just cycling a full clear by the looks of it right now, and Yike's doing a very similar thing. But we'll see how the pushing lanes go. The Ground will obviously push in the Nautilus, and looks like Abadaga's got a little bit of mid push to work with. That Doran shield helping out against the Pokemon Syndra. And didn't get the level 3 there. He tried to level up, bit of a mistake.
Yeah, it's going to get stunned. Ruthless Predator coming out. Kaldomik as well, a possibility. Odo has to flash.
Yeah.
Has to respect the auto Q combination there from the Renekton.
The idea was good. He tried to E through the creeps as he leveled up, and then Q also W the Renekton, stun him and dash away. Or just run away, rather.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually get the level up, so he couldn't get the stun, so BB could dash through and get his flash.
Peach going to skip a camp here to try and catch this pushing wave in the top lane. Limit Cord up, flash forward from Broken Blade, and there's the damage. And that's the combo Odo Omne was scared of.
Walking up against the Renekton with flash W. That's another solo kill for BB in the books. Odo will TP back and will miss a couple of minions, but yeah, great play there from Broken Blade, getting the better hands of Odo Omne.
And just as I said, it wasn't Odo Omne's fault in isolation. He then falls in the pure 1v1. It's Kennen picked into the Renekton. Yike's going to...
Peach has smite.
Not have smite, as you say. Peach forced away. Probably doesn't know. You know, you don't know if Yike has smite there or not, so no point risking it as the Scuttle Crab was running in the opposite direction. Better to make sure you get one of your own as he passes down towards bot side. Abadage looking for some damage on Caps, but Yike is here. Good flash, twisted advance. Abadage has a flash as well to get a bit of distance for himself. Limit. Good Q buffer there. Still stunned up under the tower. Will take a bit of hurt for trying to take the trade as Peach Arctic assaults across the wall. And last time Hans Summer and Mickey pushed up with vision. This time they have none.
Yeah, they died to this gank. And they know Sejuani's bot side. They just saw him run through mid.
Flash hook. Hans Summer flashes away. Mickey's now going to be met by the flail of the Northern Winds as Peach tries to force him away. But Mickey always has the possibility of just dashing back to Hans.
Yeah, so we'll see it again. BB's just going to E through. Flash W with Fury. Easy kill. And there's nothing Odo can do. Auto Q. Easy kill. And yeah, losing that flash early really stings. X behind the bot lane of G2 now. He hasn't based just yet. Peach is going through his second respawn, killing out that Thrump, and the Krugs are spawning for Yike. So now the junglers want to base. They want to get towards that level 5 on the 2 camp here on their respawn. And G2 could take a base here on bot. Yike's kind of like hovering down. I'm just watching him on the minimap, his movement. He's kind of like leaning to bot as he's clearing his camp there for a few seconds, making sure his bot lane was not connected.
A part of that is they have no vision in the river, right? You can see XL have a few wards around there. There's Broken Blade trades in the top lane. Odo no flash won't be able to close that distance, but you want to make sure that Peach isn't just looking for that repeat gank coming back round through the river bush and catching Hans Summer out now that he doesn't have the flash. Limit very happy with that sort of flash trade because he has the Hex flash in the future. And Hans Summer a lot less mobility on the Kog'Maw than there is on the Nautilus with Hex Flash. A sitting duck, you might say.
Sitting duck. Target using the E there to last hit. I think he's getting the move speed to try and dodge Caps' combo. Doesn't go for the Q because I don't think he wants to push the wave out. He wants it to come into him because he could be vulnerable to a gank and his junglers on Krugs. Jack's going to take the wolves and get to level 5. Mickey's going to Q the Drake to check if it's still up. Exil's on it. Actually, will funny enough stop a limit on his reset.
I think Mickey was going to do that anyway. Had seen him with the Scryer's Bloom, so could have just walked around the corner and hit that Q. Yike now going up towards top lane. Odo Omne still no flash, does have the level 6 and has the Lightning Rush to escape any clutches of the G2 team. 6 minutes in though, much slower. That's what you were going to say as well.
Yeah, it's exactly
what wavelength.
This game is a lot slower than the last two. Both teams were like, hey guys, coaching staff was probably like, let's reel it in. It's just way too messy. The coaches always love, from my experience, the clean macro, the nice gameplay. The fans want absolute bloodbaths.
It's me, I'm fans.
That's me as well. Just go in and fight. Like, this dragon will be uncontested. I think XL should be able to pick it up pretty easily. Yike's moving down though. XL have great setup. Good ping ward, pushed out bot. Hans is showing on the wave. Should be easy to pick up. Captain needs to push out midfield and Abadage can go back to catch that. So an uncontested dragon already picked up now for XL. And Herald spawning in the next minute and 20 seconds roughly. See if XL can get their bot lane up there to contest. Hans having no flash means, despite having a winning lane, it's very hard for Hans to want to flash up, to push up, sorry. Especially when his jungler was clearing all the wolves, he had to kind of give a push up there.
Trying to keep the wave in a nice spot for themselves, at least while the dragon was happening. Now it's going to slowly push out as Peach looks towards the mid lane. Does have that Glacial Prison. Caps. Flash. Caps has a flash of his own, but he's done it with a Glacial Prison, and Caps will fall. Held the flash for too long. Wow. An XL strike.
A lot of burst damage. I think Caps was not expecting that damage. The Q flash is one thing, but Caps can't flash straight away because then the ult will come out and lock him up. So it's a bit of a guessing game. And through the stun there, looks like Caps couldn't flash away from the Hammer Form Q from the Jace. That's first kill over to XL for Abbedagge. And you saw what Jace can do in game 2. Lands on the Hans, but the Braum shield comes up, and he's happy just sitting through the damage.
XL will be very happy that they managed to get Abbedagge ahead once again in the mid lane. As you say, his Jace in game 2 was incredible, and the amount of poke that he will have will be pretty devastating. I will say, Patrik, maybe going towards a more AD route here with the Noon Quiver first. Often when we see the Static Shiv, it's Kerchi's Shard, but might just be the traditional Kai'Sa build instead of the full poke damage build.
Let's see what direction he goes in. Hans is a bit scared to walk up here, doesn't know where Peach is.
I mean, wouldn't you be? There's a massive boar running somewhere out of the jungle. Yeah. You only have one ward. He could be jumping over the... Well, you've got two, I guess, with the control ward in the Tribush. But
yeah, and his jungler's on Herald, right? So it makes sense for him to just give up. Odoamne's on the tower. And it looks like there'll be an uncontested Herald pickup here for G2, so that's quite nice. We'll see where they use it. Probably going to try and inject some gold into Hans when he has that flashback up and they can play this 3v3 bot side. As BB's trying to take the pink ward of Odoamne, who will get a little bit of damage down. He has a ward down there now, so he can refresh it a little bit, but we'll dodge away from the sapling. So top side vision is pretty good for G2 here. 3 wards for Broken Blade to play with. He's going to take a reset. TP's up soon. I expect him to go towards that Stride Breaker in this lane. Gore Drinker is not going to give you too much, given that they have 3 ranged carries.
Relatively early, even early game between the two teams. Patrik dinging over to level 6 will be able to push out this wave as Hans Sama gets his reset off. Abbedagge taking a bit of hurt from Syndra in the mid lane, building up those Splinters of Wrath. 41 of them so far. The more you get, the more your abilities upgrade. I think you get 2 Qs, yeah, at 40, is it, or 25? And then in the end, your ult executes and you get more AP at 100, I think, stacks. So
yeah,
we'll see Caps become progressively stronger throughout the course of the game.
It's all about the Splinters. Yep. But I think looking at Patrik, he just used the last DMAT. I think he will build the static, then Quiver will build into it. Here comes the Shard or the Crit Cloak, I expect. There it is. So
still static.
Easy wave clear for him. And Peach level 8 now, still a level up on Yike. Caps has a flash. No flash on Peach. He could try and get it here with just tossing out an ult, but not ideal. Wants to save it. Fake check from Abbedagge. Gonna look for a kill here, G2.
Abbedagge flashes away. Peach putting the damage down onto Caps. And the long-range shot from Abbedagge is enough. Caps falls for the second time this game. And Yike may be short to follow. Flash across the wall. Will manage to escape. But Caps, 100% of his team's death so far, as Abbedagge has 100% of XL's kills.
Yeah, 700 gold lead for the Jace now. Nice little snipe from Abbedagge, knowing that Peach will layer the chain CC, and he can just kind of dive away from the Yike for 1 second and just shoot the bullet through on the stun. Cap still has flash on those 2 deaths, but in both those deaths, he was stunned up. TP behind, though. Peach has no flash. Q away. Mickey has the flash ult if he wants to invest. The Blast Cone is going to come through, and it's just Caps' TP. So Broken Blade won't invest it, of course, and he should be able to push out that mid wave and deny 1 wave. But XL mid-jungle getting the better hand of G2 right now.
Yeah, Peach on absolute form on this Sejuani. Wondered off the Maokai whether he'd have the same impact, but Caps just trying to get forward, can never get close enough to Abbedagge. Can't even get that ultimate off. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Death Charge coming down as Patrik looks for the trade. Could have been a possibility for him. Won't go in. Doesn't really want to dive onto Hans Sama and Mickey, who still have the exhaust in the end. Just the limit ultimate burnt as Yike comes to make sure that his bot lane isn't in any trouble.
Nothing really burnt other than that ultimate and the Mickey Braum ultimate. When Patrik gets Static Shiv, this lane becomes a lot more... Yeah, it's more like you call it a dead lane, right? There's nothing to do. You're just going to keep bouncing waves into each other. Dodged by Caps there on the Shock Blast from Abbedagge, who is building towards that Dusk Blade, getting closer and closer to that Mythic. We saw him with 2.5 items at 18 minutes last time around. Will be a little less stronger this time with only having 2 kills, but still, it's going to deal a hell of a lot of damage. Patrik's base gets stopped there on the cannon wave, which is not ideal. Still might have to just force the base and take it for that Static Shiv. Dragon up in 15.
Yep, it's just going to be the conventional poke from Kai'Sa and Jace here. For some reason in my head, for a moment, Static Shiv didn't build into... Noon Quiver didn't build into Static Shiv, but I'm just so used to seeing the Kerchi's Shard first and then the full build.
Noon Quiver builds into so many random things now.
It's like the old school Kindle gem, like 23 items or whatever build out of it. Now I still build it by accident and then realize I can't get a locket.
Yeah.
It's always a little bit frustrating as Hans Sama has some free time with his bot lane tower to take 2 plates.
Quick thing though, while Patrik based and picked up Shiv, Hans stayed for 2 plates. There's the Herald, that's another plate and a half, but Dragon's up, right? So your AD carry on XL is based. Hans is probably sitting on about 1k gold, so they have an AD favored situation here, XL. And they could look to fight this Dragon. G2 is pulling it out now, but they're on a timer. They need to start it up and get it soon, but I don't think they'll be able to pull it out and get it because there is an item advantage on Patrick. So I think XL really want to fight this, and G2 might just have to give it up because of that situation where Hans really needs to base. If you could look at the gold that Hans is sitting on.
I can't actually use our heads-up display at the moment.
Ah, okay. It's probably 1.7k in the back pocket of the Kog'Maw, right? That means that he's down 1.2k gold overall in this situation. 800 if you factor in Patrick's 400, but nevertheless, give it up. It's a Cloud Soul. Atlas is out there somewhere screaming. Cloud Soul, Cloud Soul, Cloud Soul. Just constantly happening in the LCK as well. Not ideal for champions like Jace, but the Kennen would love that.
Oh yeah, the ability to get onto that back line is so much more powerful. I think Kog'Maw would be pretty happy with it as well. Just maneuverability as Abbedagge is locked up. Concussive blows will stun him.
Where's the damage?
Well, I think it might come back now as the exhaust comes out. Caps just needs one more.
Where's the damage?
Abbedagge trying to get away. Concussive blows for a second time. There we go. Enough damage for G2 and Caps to pick up his first kill.
There's the damage. They finally got it. Took a while. Caps should be able to get his mythic off that shutdown, and he'll be able to push out this mid wave pretty uncontested, unless Patrick can snipe him with the W. Look on the minimap there. Patrick doesn't run the W onto Caps.
Around the minions, it would be very hard to hit that.
Yeah, just going to clear out the wave instead, and Herald spawning in 50 seconds. They've got their bot lane mid now. Abbedagge can move towards the bot side on his respawn, and his TP should be up for his Herald contest. Caps is as well, and now they can start fighting this top side of the map, but G2 will get a full bot tower here by the looks of it.
There's a lot of gold going to that Kog'Maw. Already got the Ginsu's Rage Bait complete. Limit looking for Yike. That top lane tower still very hardy. 5 plates remain on it. XL try to put some pressure up here as the Rift Herald comes up in 25 seconds. Broken Blade. Wow. Oh! Dewamne!
Oh, it's so unlucky, isn't it? You can't blame him. The Q landed. Oh, I've hit someone. Maybe I'm face checking a Renekton with ult already, you know? Pre-procs ready with a full stun. I'll ult. Where is he? He's Houdini. He's gone. So XL swap. They're going to put Odoamne towards mid, and the problem they have now is G2 know Kennen ult is down. He has Proto Belt, which is great, but Herald's up, right? And you're going to fight this Herald for sure now. You know that Kennen ult's down, so now XL at a disadvantage. Maybe have to give this up from that unfortunate series of events.
And to play for this Herald, you gave up first Turret Blood down towards the bottom lane as well. Hans Sama picked up all that gold, so unfortunate, as you say, for XL. It's a bit of a Lemony Snicket situation. A series of unfortunate events that have transpired to lead to G2 taking their second Rift Herald of the game. Still 2 dragons to XL, 2.5 minutes on the next for them. It would be Soul Point. First items completed across the board as well. The Rocket Belt, Radiant Virtue, Duskblade, static combination for XL. As G2 have gone for more of a Gordrink and Demonic Leandri's Ginsu's angle.
Sounds like we're playing 2v2 and you've got Thieves' Gloves and you're trying to tell me what items you've got. Peach.
Well, he's just managed to lock up Yike. Limit takes the kill. Now Caps coming in from the side as well. Limit still on that front line. The rest of G2 trying to collapse. Abbedagge TPing behind him here, but they're going to be a little bit late to the party as G2 collapse and fight 2. Oh, flash away.
Caps going to flash stun if he wants.
If the Winter's Bite was going to hit Abbedagge, where are you going to go? Broken Blade chasing through that Cloud Rift. Enhanced movement speed. Abbedagge has the dash away, clears away the cannon as well. And G2 will give up the ghost on chasing the Jace.
Odoamne TP'd in, but he didn't have Kennen ult.
Yep.
He would have loved to have had Kennen ult in this fight. Not sure if he had flash. I think he does. That's a spectator bug at the bottom. So the Kennen has flash. Initial kill comes onto Yike. Limit trades his life, but look where Odoamne TP's in. If he has ult here, that's a flash ult onto 3, instantly 4 maybe. Get a lot of damage down. Odoamne alongside Abbedagge with the Shock Blast. Maybe Patrick could get some damage in as well, but yeah, just missing that ultimate again stings. They give up the Herald, they lose this fight because of it as well, and they have to back away.
And now G2, 2,000 gold ahead. They have the Rift Herald as well, still in Yike's inventory. We'll see where he decides to use that. Already cracked the tier 1 in the bot lane. XL yet to take a turret, but not for want of trying. Limit here going to be able to grab himself that cannon minion. Always a happy moment for a support. You have those Relic Shield stacks.
7 kills in 16 minutes. What are we doing? Where's the...
I mean, it's still
4 for 4 trades.
Infinitely times more than the 18-minute 40 First Blood we had the other day. So I'm still relatively happy camper here, and XL and G2 continue to butt heads on the Rift. Winner of this goes through to our summer finals. If XL win, they make it to the season finals as well, where G2, BDS, and MAD and SK are already waiting. For XL would be first finals in the team's history if they manage to make it into our top 2 here in summer.
Oh, Peach might be in a bit of trouble.
It's going to get collapsed on. Mickey's coming in. Peach, no flash. Already used the Arctic Assault. There's the slow Glacial Prison. with the stun, but Caps can't quite get into auto range. Now he can. The stun comes out with the force of will. The Winter's bite enough. There's the Glacial Fissure. Peach, where are you going to go? Dashes away once again, still chasing as Broken Blade goes on a killing spree as Odo falls in the top lane. Still have Flash. Meanwhile, XL looking for that dive, but they botched it. And all across the map, G2 are finding kills. XL, in the end, will get the shutdown over onto Patrick for Broken Blade's corpse. Rift Herald used in the mid lane, though, and Hans Sommer is going to get more local gold out of this tower.
Now the action is ensuing, isn't it? Tower will fall. Like you said, push out bot from Caps. They get the kill onto Peach. He was very greedy on that strong side of the Jace, trying to find the dive, but he waited for so long that he's trying to walk into a tier 2 when the bot lane's collapsing from mid. So Broken Blade solo killed Odoamne again there. And then I think he got dove by Limit and Patrick with their ultimates invested to try and finish him off to 1-for-1. It was a nice amount of gold over to Patrick. I think it was a small shutdown as well. But still, two kills, to G2 and a mid-tier 1. XL slowly falling behind in the long game.
And the Dragon as well means that Soul only a distant speck on the horizon, at least 10 minutes away for XL. We'll have another look at this play.
So, BB goes through the wave, Qs, Odoamne gets a lot of damage down, but he's invested so much of his escape tools as well. To gap close, takes a tower shot, I guess Flash W, yeah. Same kill as the level 3. Yep. And then in comes Patrick in Limit. I'm guessing it's just a Nautilus ult or a hook into a Kaiser ult or something. Yeah, he's going to dive past here, Patrick with W, get the burst down, and get out.
Not really much Broken Blade could do in that situation, getting one kill out of it. That's about all he could manage. Mickey here, faces against Peach and Limit. Limit will hex flash across. Peach looking for the jump, gets the stun as well, and Yike is now collapsing. Glacial Prison has been used, but there's the Twisted Advance, the knockback onto the Sejuani, and she's on the wrong side of the rift as Abbedagge takes the bad trade in the mid lane. Peach has nowhere to go. That boar going to be roasted up by G2. Hans Sommer giving the kill. 3-0 now on this Kog'Maw. 2.5 items complete. We saw how much damage you could do in game 2 underneath that inhibitor tower. Now, with a team in front of him, it's going to be even trickier for XL.
XL just look really disjointed, don't they? I feel like Peach and Limit are hovering around there. He gets cancelled on the dash, yeah, but it feels like they're hovering around there for way too long and the tower's already kind of dead. It's either you make a play happen and you dive, or you just kind of watch your AD carry take the tower. It's a bit of a tough call, really, for Peach. It's the second time he's done the same thing on the opposite side of the map now, and G2 will get a tower out of it. Odoamne has TP and there's a ward just behind him here. On some if they want to invest in a lane TP. It's quite a long con. I think if Peach was topside, it could work. Maybe they can wait a little bit and go for it on this push out from G2. Question is, when do they pull the trigger? I'm watching here on the screen. I'm watching the minimap. I think they should pull the trigger here topside if they can. They're collapsing. TP behind is looking pretty juicy here for XL. It's just a question of when.
I mean, all the saplings are going to slow as XL try and walk forward. Yike, Mickey and Hans Sommer spotted. There's the TP. Odo going in. Broken Blade has a TP to match. Limit lands the hook, but Hans Sommer starts to open up. Dead charge on him as well as Killer Instinct gets onto the backline. Odo there. Slicing mouse from Hans Sommer flashes away, trying to take down Patrick before he goes down himself, but he will fall. And now XL trying to do everything they can. Caps gets another though. Broken Blade really ripping through them as Yike's on the chase. Peach rooted. 2v2. Caps and Broken Blade much more healthy than their opponents. Peach though able to dash away with the Arctic Assault. The stun just at the edge. Slice and dice. Radiant Virtue. No more slows available to G2. And 3 for 3 in the top lane is the result of the play.
Really good play by XL. They're behind and they get a 3 for 3. Most important thing there is Kog'Maw flashes down. That is everything that they needed. Going even in the fight is the cherry on top. The long con chase because G2 hasn't base. They're kind of getting a bit greedy with that top wave push out. And Odoamne has free time to TP in behind. Nautilus ult on the Hans. Just gets out of the CC in time to be able to flash upwards away from the cannon ult. But look at Patrick. He takes so much damage because he's basically frontlining against the Kog'Maw that the AD trade basically comes in. The passive from Kog'Maw will kill Patrick no matter what. So he's out. AD carries are traded. It's a 4v4. Patrick just flashes out, but he's basically out of the fight anyway. And Caps arrives for Broken Blade to deal so much damage. Nice W here for Patrick to... Actually, the ult from Peach gets the kill. And Odoamne, nice position there. Finally gets himself involved in this game. His flash timer will be the same as Hans Sommer's, but the Nautilus ult, the Kai'Sa dive, and the Sejuani ult to the next in line to try and punish that summoner being down.
With Baron up, both teams grouping around this top side of the map. Abbedagge does have the TP, so he's pushing out the bot lane. G2 don't have to deal with it yet. They still have a tier 1 standing there. I wonder if G2 are thinking about maybe pulling towards the Baron.
Look at this situation, map state. But BB wants to go bot to cover this bot tower, but Abbedagge has TP, and he doesn't. They don't really want to put Caps on a side lane, I feel like. It just kind of negates a lot of the pick potential you have on the follow-up on this top side of the map. But Abbedagge's not pushing bot, he's also scared. So I'm kind of wondering what this Baron dance is all about. Maybe engage is what it's about.
Twisted Advance going forward as Yike tries to dive deep. XL able to disengage it. The Unbreakable from Mickey will eat up the Void Seeker.
Maybe Abbedagge just wants to join up and poke, but I feel like they could have just forced a bot tower there, because now G2, I think, will just transition down to the bot side on the Dragon Spawn. A little bit of pokes coming through. Hans has that red buff to heal through the majority of it. Probably has the Bloodline in his runes as well. Looking at his health bar. Push from the top from Broken Blade coming in. Odoamne trying to join the fight. No flash though.
Glacial Fissure.
Yeah, the ult. And that'll be no ult from the Braum, I expect, for this Dragon Spawn.
Coming up in 30 seconds time. Would be sole point for XL if they can take it. Only the second of the game for G2. It's a Cloud though, not the most impactful of dragons across the course of Summoner's Rift, but for the moment G2 still in an okay position if they want to set up around it. They've started to get the vision control.
Yeah, it's a second dragon, so it doesn't sting, and Odoamne is top with no TP, so I guess they're just saying, you know what, let's give it. It's a bit of a tough one to get Baron vision right now for XL. The Maokai poke is so much, the Syndra face check is too difficult, so they're just going to run 5-man top. They're dropping mid-wave a lot here, so Hans will easily be able to push this out. I think G2 can answer with a mid to bot and look for a tier 2. They have a bot. Oh, they're going to go Baron. They're just going to rush it down.
It takes a lot of damage so quickly. Peach has the smite as well.
Yeah,
G2 trying to react to it. Hans Summer and Mickey the first ones there, but no Glacial Fissure. TP coming in now from G2 as they realize how low this is. Peach has used his first smite, has the second though. Depth charge onto Mickey. The Baron secured as XL call G2's bluff. They didn't even get the Cloud Drake. Broken Blade diving in. The Slice of Mouse are coming out as they look for the shutdown. Already Broken Blade down with the Twisted Advance forward from Yang. Hans Summer and Caps untouched on the back of the fight, and now they can really begin to open up. Patrick not back. XL, you got the Baron, but what did it cost? Everything, it seems. Abed flashing forward, trying to kill off Caps, but the stopwatch should buy enough time. It doesn't quite, as Abed is able to get one in response, but G2 will clean up the fight.
The Baron rush was good, but the turn just wasn't there. Peach lands the Sejuani ult, but then instantly flashes away. Let's see it again. Observer's so quick on this replay. I have to give them credit for that one. Fight's already over. We're straight to watch it again. Watch Peach here. Odoamne goes in. They look for Mickey. Ult lands onto Cap. He's going to Q forwards here, Peach, then flash away. Now, XL are all clumped up. BB really wants to get himself involved there. Maokai ult lands onto a couple, and there's no real escape tool here left for XL. They have no way out. Patrick invests the ultimate, the Killer Instinct, to get towards the side here to try and finish off Yike, but no flash for him. He gets taken down. Abbedagge gets a nice reset here. Really does a good job on the flash auto E. Knows he has the damage without the gate. Gets the Duskblade to avoid the Maokai W. Maybe he can try and trade back there, but the Braum stun comes through. And I think G2 will pick up a dragon off the back of that pretty easily. There it is. Get that second dragon that they were looking for. But the Baron play was good. Just couldn't get out in time. Maybe if they all invested everything to just escape and try and save 3 or 4, and maybe Limit and Peach can go in and sacrifice themselves, that's one thing. But you can't blame them for the turn. They had a nice turn onto the Braum.
It's a smart call overall by XL. G2 just quick enough to react, to clean up the fight. XL continue to show that they are willing to battle in these sort of situations. G2 are very much on the ropes portions of these games right now, though. Their hopes lie on Hans Summer, 7-1-5, and if he has time in a team fight, he can force XL back. A 3,000 or 2,500 gold lead for G2. Dragons even. That Baron obviously completely expired as Broken Blade is down here in the bottom lane. Patrick could look for some damage on the chase, but really more just about pushing in the wave.
For that Q upgrade there, Patrick. Yeah, getting close towards that Rage Blade. Nothing really to fight for. 4 minutes on neutrals, no Baron buff on G2 who are ahead.
It didn't stop them in game 1-2 though.
True.
Hey, Joy, you know?
Fight over anything. Fight over vision.
Fight.
I'm trying to take my blue
Flashes up, fight.
Oh, Limit snuck his way into this bot rush. Patrick has the ult if he wants to follow up. Limit has the flash through and the ignite coming up, but all of them are collapsing down towards the bot side. Odoamne really wants that level 16 on Kennen, and he's going to get it from that top wave. Has the TP available. Limit. I was surprised. I don't think he maybe had no wards in his inventory there. Could have maybe put one down. No, he didn't. Just check there. For a TP flank for the Kennen again.
I do like it from XL though. Peach acting as sort of a long-range scout, checking out the river. Limit and Patrick are like, well, we can kill Broken Blade, but as soon as you see the team reacting, it's like, okay, we'll back away. Peach can lead them a little bit on a diversion, and then we'll manage to escape the situation without fully investing.
This gold lead for G2, it's, from my perspective, I don't think it's that big of a deal, you know? Yep. Odoamne's up in levels, Abbedagge's up in levels, Patrick's pretty even, it's all on the clock.
Peach is going to tank it up, but still a double root landing on the backline there. The tower down to about a 3rd HP. Depth charge used on Broken Blade. Odo does have the TP, but won't invest it as G2 managed to get the tower out of the trade. But nothing more.
Just going to back away, they are. And they should be able to hold that top tier 2. Ping's coming out on the minimap on the top side. See if XL can get some vision down. I think Limit's really trying to find ways to get wards in these lanes behind G2 in case they want to siege, so that Odoamne can get that teleport down. Hans is very vulnerable. He has the stopwatch and he has the flash. Vicky has the exhaust. But if the cannon's coming from behind and you're playing a front to back and you're focused on the Nautilus Sejuani, he can really catch you off guard. And that's when you peel back, and then that's when Patrick can really pull the trigger. He's the key here for XL. Abbedagge is trying to get the poke down. Mickey.
His bites. Is on a ward as well.
Guardian Angel actually for Hans. Oh, I think he should be alright then.
I think it's if he's the last man standing though, it can be very tricky for the Kog'Maw if he's not got any defenses around him. The question is whether XL can find enough poke initially to chip away at the G2 front line. They have 3 items on both of their poke carries, the Jace and the Kai'Sa.
Operation Kill Kog'Maw is a go for XL. Caps has the Zhonya's too. Abbedagge is taking a base, has blue orb, no ward for Odo. Couple wards on the blue buff area of G2 Baron in 1 minute. Still nothing to fight for just yet, just setup is all they're looking at. And face checking here, Peach may be a bit dangerous. I think G2 might want to start the Baron up straight away. They'll have top push, they'll have mid push. Odoamne can get this bot tier 1, and they should be able to pick it up pretty easily. So as long as XL don't get caught here, they should get themselves a free tower.
And there's 1 ward for Odoamne around the blue buff of G2. If G2 do start up the Baron, don't know if that will expire in the next 50 seconds or so as G2 continue to put the pressure forward.
TP coming in though, because they are going quite deep here, G2, and they're getting poked out a lot. Odo level 17.
You can keep pushing until someone answers, and then if G2 do start the Baron, then you can use the flank TP ward.
Still cycling around.
Yeah, G2. And it's going to send 1 player back. Reset comes out for Mickey. He goes, replenishes his ward stock, and Broken Blade goes towards the bottom lane to answer this cannon wave that has been pushed in by Odo.
Does he have Zhonya's? He does. So that's a 3-item cannon.
That ward is still there.
Yeah, is Mickey sweeping now? He's going to pink it. Maybe that brush on the left there, right next to where he's standing, he's going to pink that. No, he's not. Okay, that ward. These are angles that can lose you the game, really.
Yep.
And you can't really blame Mickey for not
they push so far forward that you only expect the vision to be defensively for in XL's jungle. That ward has been there for a long time. Oh, just switched, I think.
Yeah.
Limit placed his 3rd ward.
Yeah.
And the ward behind them expired.
Peach. He's checking Baron, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't have a ward on it.
Can't be slowed, so he can't just walk away from the Winter's Bite.
Patrick needs to land some poke. There's the first W. Second one will be up now. Where is he going to fire it? He's going to land
the hook. Very full as well. Yike going in across the wall.
Watch Odo.
He's got the Slicing Maelstrom, but Limit's already down. Odo, you're going to flash in. He's looking for it. There we go. Slicing Maelstrom. Unsummon, stunned up on the back line, but they really don't have the damage to follow this one up. Peach having a flash away, and Odo's killed off for the double kill. G2 defend the carry well, and that Juggernaut is well and truly online.
The President lives. Hans Sama has to blow the flash, but Odo's flash is down as well. That's all he has to really be careful for, and he has the Guardian Angel up still.
Yeah, Peach is waiting around the corner here, trying to find something spicy, but couldn't get into the pit. G2 now 5 members strong are looking for the Baron.
Should be an easy pickup for them. Abbedagge is alive and has a lot of poke. Mickey's low. Caps has the base and TP available. Let's watch Patrick here. Looks like he's going for the Dragon, so they're just going to trade those objectives evenly. Caps will stop the base and push out instead, knowing that he won't have to cover this Baron. Abbedagge will get a mid-tier 1 as well, so XL trying to trade back a little bit, but now the siege will really begin. Hans Sama can even invest in more defensive items if you want, go towards something like a Moor if he wants to make sure that he definitely doesn't die, or a QSS, Mercurial.
Mickey has Mikhail's now, so
okay, that
defense, yeah.
Helps a lot. He can go towards Bloodthirster then or something anyway. Here's the engage. Mickey with the wall up. Blocks a lot of the damage. Odo a little bit indecisive. He wants to go, he doesn't want to go, he wants to go, he doesn't want to go, and then he does eventually pull the trigger. Instant exhaust. Hans Sama instantly flashed away. Shock blast misses. And these 2 poke champions from XL, the Kai'Sa and the Jace, can't really get in range to follow up in a full dive when the Nautilus is already down. And the Sejuani has no more tools left. That ward from G2 there. Yike can easily just walk back up and get the kill onto Peaches. Kind of looking for a Baron steal. But G2 will have none of that.
Always a bit of a risk, but you can see just how much damage Hans Sama puts down in these fights. Odo is looking to see if they can catch him out, but the problem is if everyone lines up, your poke isn't quite as effective because you can never get it on the key carries on the back line. G2 now pushing in the top lane. Looks like they're actually all just going to group up as 5. No 1-4 splits, as we saw in game 1. XL still trying to defend. Cap stepping forward. G2 take the remaining tier 2 off the map. A 5,000 gold lead now for them.
I didn't realize that last fight was a 4v5. Caps was, I just had a look. He was just standing in Baron pit trying to find a way, considering flashing over and joining, but by the time he arrived, it wasn't over. The fight was over, sorry. Poke coming out. It's going to miss onto Caps. Broken Blade's pushing in mid. Peach is behind him.
And Yike is here to defend as well. Feel as soon as XL see that, XL back away with the Killer Instinct coming forward. Broken Blade still very healthy, now down to half HP, pulled back as well. Cold Meat gets him healed up and he manages to escape. Depth Charge has been used, but there's no follow-up from XL. Void Seeker going wide as G2 crack open the base in the top lane. The Baron minions should do enough to take down that inhibitor. XL will try to defend, but the cannon enough to fell it.
They just used 3 ultimates to try and kill Broken Blade, and they didn't get him down. It was interesting because Peach went in and then dashed away. Sorry, excuse me, dashed away as Patrick dove the backside and tried to look for the kill. So a bit of miscommunication there from XL. Doesn't lead to a kill, but Patrick's just picked up the Void Staff to get some more magic pen up against that tanky Renekton, who will build towards the Guardian Angel as well. No soul for another 2 minutes 45 seconds for XL, and G2 won't be able to pick that up. So XL have room to stall the game out if they want to. They can play the game out for another 3.5 minutes, not take any disadvantageous fights or get caught out, let G2 have the dragon, not really sweat about it too much, and what can they ramp up for is the question, and I'm not really sure what the answer is. I don't think the Cannon's going to get a Rabadons in 3 minutes. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get any stronger, but the Kog'Maw will get tankier and tankier if he's building something like the Bloodthirster.
I very much agree. Baron is about to expire for G2. I'll try and push in this wave, but in about 6 seconds, that is going to fall off, so just this cannon remains for them. Both these inhibitor towers in mid and bot still pretty strong as the Baron falls off. And G2 no longer have those buffed up minions to help with the push, but Super's pushing in the top lane. Odoamne forced away, Peach eating up the root, the Glacial Fissure going down on him, and that's enough damage from G2, slicing Maelstrom coming out from Odoamne, but he's so low already, the Living Artillery stopwatched. Winter's Bite, another Living Artillery, von Hans Sama finds the kill, and now G2 look to step forward, but Yike steps a little bit too far, he will fall as well.
Patrick.
Is he going to Killer Instinct? Does he feel it? He's feeling himself for sure. Mickey doesn't quite fall as Hans Sama begins to open up. Patrick falling low, but he gets a shutdown, dodges away. The Living Artillery, though, in the end will find him. Mickey dies. And Sama holds on to the GA, and it's only limit for the next 16 seconds to defend the base.
It's a 4 for 3, but this Nautilus hasn't got any wave clear. Limit's going to try and push out that top wave, but he's a support. He's going to run with the wave, maybe pull it away from the tower. It's 8 seconds on Peach. I don't think they'll lose the game here. He's pulled the wave far enough away that Caps can't hit this tower just yet. The Sejuani is up.
Sama.
Maybe they can end, you know? Jungle support versus mid AD. Or if you got your money on Medic.
He just flash smite. He'll smite the cannon. Hans Sama, though, smites the Nexus tower. Caps being forced off towards the top side. Peach already invested the flash. Limit going in. There's still a G on Hans Sama.
2v2.
But Limit is already down. Peach now trying to defend against Caps and Hans Sama. He'll be able to distract them for long enough, but
Odo's
the Nexus towers have fallen. Odo now up, but Hans Sama just needs a second to open up on the base, and Odo can't buy enough time for his team. Hans Sama cleans up the kill on Odo. The Living Artillery won't be enough to kill Peach before Caps takes the Nexus, and G2 take a 2-1 lead.
That was like 2v2 arena at the end. Sejuani Nautilus versus Kog'Maw. You ain't got no chance, but it doesn't matter what augments you've got. That Kog'Maw was so fed. Another game here. Hans Sama, sorry, 14 kills, similar to game 1. Kog'Maw Braum definitely working this time around. The Maokai not being there, and for XL means the poke was a little weaker. They definitely got the ball rolling on the mid AD, but like Odoamne kind of struggled a little bit this game. Did have one good cannon flank, but up against a GA Kog'Maw with exhaust and flash up, and then Mikhail's ready. It's really hard for him to slam dunk a kill and dive that backline.
Yeah, and with the Braum there as well, even the poke damage isn't really getting through to the backline ever, right? So very difficult for XL to navigate that composition around when they fall behind and when that Kog'Maw's in such a strong position. And we see why G2 before game 2 of this series hadn't lost on the Kog-Braum combination.
Yeah, we'll see if that's something XL want to ban away. I mean, if they do want to ban away the Kog'Maw Braum, they're probably going to have to pick blue side, but then you have to think about the Jace and the Maokai as well. What
and the
you're giving up in return for denying the Kog'Maw Braum, right? So it's a very tricky one. I don't envy these coaches when it comes to these drafts, because both these teams have really good things working for them.
Yeah, and it's the evolution of draft, as we see across the course of a series usually as well. You know, originally, Rell was really heavily prioritized, then we saw it getting banned away, then it was the Kai'Sa. Jace seems really strong, but sometimes you can win against it as well. We're going to hear more about that after the break, but for now, we'll be right back.